Well, one of the requests that you might get is the 7-seat option, because apparently that's being made soon or already. Elon tweeted something out about the Tesla's going to begin the production of the 7-seat Model Y. And there's a photo-ish that we have to look at here.
I think it's just a photo. There's that.
Apparently this was a shot from one of the very early prototypes or something of what the 7-seat option would look like. And then if you scroll down a little bit, actually you have Sandy Munro here sitting in it. I think this is how they should do it. I think the 7-seat should be jump seats. Like the old Model S had. There were these rear-facing seats that were in the kind of in the hatchback. I think that would be fantastic. My kids would totally love that. That'd be really great. But according to that photo, they're forward-facing and
they're tiny.
Of course, they're going to be tiny, but I just don't even know how your feet would fit, because right where your feet would go in this case is right where all the major systems are. That's where basically the back end of the battery is, your inverters, the motors themselves. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to put it right there, I don't think. So I'm not sure. I'm very curious to see what it'll look like when it comes out, because I don't believe that photo is representative of what it'll be.
I like the idea of the jump seats, but I always thought it'd be really awkward in like stop and go traffic, because like there's just somebody staring at you in the car behind, is like they just have to face each other. And it's just like, hi.
Didn't you ever ride in your aunt's Volvo?
I was gonna say, I used to ride in a friend's station wagon when I was a kid, and that was the best part. It was like you get to like wave to cars and like yell at them and stuff as a kid. It was the best.
I don't think I ever had a relative with a jump seat in a car.
Man, I'm sorry.
You've never been to the Northwest.
What was it on the Beverly Hillbillies? Grandma was just like on a rocking chair on the top of the the truck.
Yes,
we had that.
But
that was real footage.
That was a documentary. You didn't know?
The forward-facing seats would be fine though for tiny kids without knees, basically.
Well, so like in the Model X, we have this, right?
Because kids, the knees grow in later.
Yeah.
Once the knee buds pop, then they ain't sitting in the back.
The knee buds.
Well, but you're actually not too far off. Like, so in our Model X, we have a 3rd row seat. We have a 6-seat configuration. And Jack and then our neighbor's son, Jude, they're about the same age. We'll put them both in the very far back with their kid seats. And then that middle row seat is literally like crunched up against it. Like none of us could even attempt to sit in there with those seats in the position they're supposed to be in. But they love it. And they can actually like tap their feet on it. And they love being able to do that. And it's totally fine. So yeah, I think kids would fit back here. But I believe when they announced this, Elon said adults would be able to sit back there.
Well, when they announced it, didn't 7 people get out of it?
No, that was the Model S or Model X.
You sure about that?
I mean, you
were there.
I don't remember. Yeah, I was there, but it was a Tesla event, so I was completely drunk. So I don't know. But I mean, I don't want to speak on behalf of all adults. But yeah, I guess guys that ride on horses for a living might be able to fit back there, something like that, But most adults, I would venture
jockeys,
to guess.
not cowboys.
Yeah, neither of them. No.
Hang on, I'm gonna look this up. I just want.
Yeah, let's see if 7. I don't know, because that would have been a 7-seat configuration, and that was the one that we rode in for the test drives. I don't think anyone got out of it. I think you just had the driver.
What? You don't think anyone got out of it?
Well, the one person driving it.
I mean, it is Tesla.
Who was Franz, I think, right? I think Franz drove it up there.
I feel like it's pretty much always Franz.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Franz or Elon?
X. Okay, yeah. X, Model 3, semi,
I feel like
whatever.
all this packing in of extra seats and these smaller cars, like it's just get a minivan.
Yeah.
Just break the seal and get the old,
with some like stripes on it, some like
Caravan.
racing stripes or maybe some flames, something.
No, the wood stripe along the side.
Yes, the Astro van.
Go all the way.
Seriously. Well, for some reason, Google Chrome is pooping on my attempts to figure this out. So maybe I shouldn't use Chrome.
You to know.
It is currently using up 100% of my CPU. It says. That's great.
Chrome.
All 28 cores or whatever, and
We didn't have this as a list to talk about, but I believe Google's about to get sued for antitrust over Chrome.
What?
Yeah.
From the government or?
Yeah. Because they own the search engine and the browser, which does the searching.
Okay, hang on. We're going to do some counting.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I don't. You're seeing it.
4, 5.
Oh, you were right. 1, 2, 3.
They move the seats. And look. Wait, how many are there? 1, 2. I think 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
At least 6.
There's a hidden trap door in the bottom, and they just kind of like came up through the floor.
Yeah, I think that was part of the big deal is people were not expecting it to be a 7-seater, and they had 7 people get out at the beginning, like like a clown car. Yeah, there was definitely a trapdoor thing. I bet they were just laying in the back trunk space, or like
they were just like this. Yeah. They're actually children, and they were on stilts, but they gave them long pants
in a trench coat. It was 2 kids stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this clip from our show. If that's just not enough for you and you want to watch the full episode, you can go to olfpod.com/YT.
And if you want more from us, you can consider becoming a Patreon member. You'll get early access to episodes. You can join our awesome community. You can actually watch us record live and get your name in the credits by going to olfpod.com/Patreon.
So thanks everyone for watching. Check back every Friday for new clips here and new episodes on the main channel.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, and I guess there's probably one more thing for Tesla, according to Elon. Supposedly releasing on Tuesday next week. So that's, I guess, that's a week from, or, if you're listening to this, that's in like 5 days or whatever. They're going to be doing a limited full self-driving beta. This will at first be limited to a small number of people who are expert and careful drivers. Mm-hmm. So does that mean we're all nixed from that category?
No comment.
You are.
Yeah, definitely Tim's not in.
Excuse me. Have you guys ever been in an accident?
With you?
Not as many as you.
Not as many as me.
I don't know.
No, curious. Have you guys ever been in an accident?
Not a major one, thankfully.
Once.
Knock
yeah.
on wood.
Yeah, I hydroplaned when I was 19 downtown Chicago on an interstate. That was terrifying. Other than that, none for me.
I had just the dumbest one. I was in a parking lot and I was kind of looking down and I looked up and there was a car that I wasn't expecting and I went to slam on my brake and hit the gas and smashed into them like an idiot.
You did the old lady thing.
Yeah. So that's why I don't have the full self-driving beta because I'm not a careful driver.
What about
they
you,
know
Ben?
that I would do that.
I feel like you've crashed 100 times.
I've crashed once. Yeah, I was on the freeway. I was getting onto the freeway in Phoenix, and I was getting on in the carpool lane. So there's some places where you can enter the freeway into the carpool lane, and traffic over here was going, and I looked over to try to see what was going on, and I looked up, and the traffic in front of me had all stopped, and so I kind of swerved out and just clipped the side of one, but that was it. Yeah, it wasn't. Car was fine. I mean, it wasn't fine, but it was like, everyone was fine. It was like minor accident. It wasn't.
The car was fine, and they had. It was on fire, and.
Well, those combustible cars, they combust is what they do.
But yeah, so we'll see if I guess maybe next week we might see some videos of Tesla full self-driving cars on the road in a very limited beta, or maybe it's going to be. Do you guys think it'll be under non-disclosure agreements, or what do you think that's going to be like?
I can't imagine it being under NDA. I can't.
Especially
they would just do that with employees.
That they're going to.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it doesn't necessarily say public. It just says limited full self-driving beta. It doesn't say public beta.
Yeah,
that could
I just think.
I don't know.
It could be employees. I think that would just be considered internal testing, though, if they I don't know. To me, it sounds like they're going to release it to some people that are out there, and I would imagine those people are going to make videos of it. Let's say you're just a random Tesla owner and they give it to you, and they're like, "Hey, don't make videos of that." And it's like, well, if I do, are you going to like sue me? Because that'd be a really weird thing for like Tesla sues person they gave this thing to. Like, I don't know.
Well, but
I suppose they could, but it just seems
if
like
they told you
thing.
not to, and if you like signed an NDA and they said don't share our development because it's intellectual property at this point, then of course they could sue you if you breach that contract.
Yeah, I'm just not sure they would.
Do it, Ben.
Well, my question is it really full self-driving or just a new iteration on the full self-driving that we've had this whole time? Like, is it really a point-to-point, you get in the car and it drives you from home to work kind of thing?
Yeah, that's kind of
because they've been talking about that for a really long time, and it's always been little iterations.
It'll show you new visualizations on the thing. That's
well, that's my question though. I mean, maybe that is all it is. I don't know.
Let's place our bets. Everyone, I want to hear what you guys think. This version, the thing that's coming out on Tuesday, what do you think it'll be capable of, and like to what degree of success will it be? You know what I mean?
Is this a push-up thing?
No. I'll start just to set the bar. I think it will be the attempt at full-blown like turn-to-turn stop signs navigating through city streets on its own with limited success. I think it'll be like you'll have to be extremely vigilant, like way more so than autopilot. Autopilot's to the point where it's getting really good. I think this will be like very dicey. I think it'll be about 50% successful. Like I can picture times where you're at it pulls up to a stop sign or something and it's just sitting there like forever and just does, just stops. And it's just like, oh, you want to go now? Okay. And like roundabouts and stuff like that. Like I think it's going to be pretty touch and go, but I think it will, though. I think you'll be able to attempt to try like, here's this address, go to this address, and it'll take city streets and do the navigation and everything for you. I would assume that's what full self-driving entails. That's my guess. What about you guys?
I'm skeptical it goes that far. But then again, at the battery day, he was saying that they rewrote the neural net from scratch. So maybe it's a whole new thing. So clearly I'm working this out as I'm talking. But maybe that's another reason why it wouldn't be a complete full point-to-point self-driving thing, because they've got this whole new neural net thing, and it's like, okay, we're going to take some baby steps here to train it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like what you just said, down 20%.
So I guess, do you think it will? Here's a good threshold I want to know. Do you think it'll be able to turn like a corner in a city street without you touching it? Like you're going down a 25 mile an hour residential thing, you have a right turn coming up. Do you think it'll do that without intervention? I think that's a pretty strong threshold to cross, because that's.
I think a right turn, yes. A left turn, probably not.
Ooh, splitting the.
Like a left turn through an intersection,
right,
where there's not a line that tells it where the left turn goes. You know what I mean? Just like a normal intersection, it doesn't have a bunch of markings in it. I think that might be a bit much, because that could go really hairy. Like it could take too sharp of a turn, and all of a sudden you're on oncoming traffic or hitting a median, and then maybe it realizes that and then stops in the mid turn. Middle of the intersection, people behind you, you get rear-ended, like that high probability of risk. Turning right, I would say you're more likely to hit a pedestrian, and that is easier to justify in court. So, I mean, sorry, it easier to identify.
Well, so I don't have it now. So what's it capable of now exactly? Can it stop at stoplights and stop signs and stuff?
Yes,
it can do that.
It does do that. But you still have to initiate it to go, basically. So it will stop. Unless there's, like, for a stop light, if there's a car in front of you that's going through a green light, it'll take that as its own trigger of this is safe to proceed. Otherwise, if you're pulling up to a stoplight and there's no one in front of you, you have to confirm either with the stalk or with the gas pedal or accelerator, that it is indeed green and you are safe to proceed. So you're still labeling it in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this would be
that's the hard part.
This would be a huge thing if they're, because if that's where they're at now, and like the car still will never, turn at your upcoming, like, oh, here comes 12th Street, take a right,
Well, and there's a lot of, I think the hardest part there is going to be negotiating when to go. So let's say that it can make a left turn at a 4-way stop. There are, the rules that have governed who goes, who has the right of way, but no one really, like on day to day, that doesn't really come into play, right? You don't stop and go, oh, you've got the right of way because you're on this side, blah, blah, blah. Like it's whoever gets there first generally. And then if not, somebody's looking at someone else doing the little hand wavy thing.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be hard is like,
that's my point. Like it may come to a stop and be like, hey, I have the right of way. I'm going to go. And like, nope, you are not. Like someone's going to plow into you. I think that's why self-driving cars are so hard. It's not necessarily the actual roads and stuff. It's that you have all these other, humans out there that are unpredictable.
That intuition.
All these variables that are extremely wild.
Well, I think I imagine what they would be going for here is the ability to do autopilot on city streets. Because that was supposed to be, or that is, I think what they list on the website, that'll be available this year. So I would imagine that's what they're going for here. So probably along those lines of just being able to navigate on a city street. I don't really, I can't imagine it doing much more than that. And more than that would be like, driving through a gate of a private entry place and, finding the right driveway that isn't mapped anywhere. And you just have to know you're supposed to go over there. Or for me, I go play golf a lot. You drive into the golf clubs and usually it's like, oh, bag drop this way, this thing this way. Navigating where to go in situations like that would be really deep down, and not just driving. It's like, what does the situation call for?
I'd be really impressed. Here's what would be my I'm blown away is if it could go from your driveway. Maybe it doesn't even want to pull into your garage if you have one or whatever, but say it could go from your origination to your driveway, you get it out in the street or whatever, and you hit go, and it can get you to a parking lot. But then once it gets to a certain fenced area of uncharted, then it says okay, now you take control. To me, that would be whoa, this is pretty much here. They solved a lot of things. I will be blown away. Yeah. Yeah.
I still, it's funny. I was talking to the TesLab team yesterday, and they're all in Brooklyn, and they were just very skeptical of the whole thing. Half of their driving in New York City is there are, 18 cars double parked in front of you in the middle of the road. And then there's a giant delivery thing that's going to be here for 2 hours. A self-driving car may pull up to that and be like, oh, I have to stop. There's a truck in front of me. But that truck's going to be there for 3 hours. In order to actually proceed, you're going to have to drive on the opposite side of the road. You're going to have cross a double yellow line, go the opposite way of traffic just to get around the truck or whatever. When is a car figuring that out or thinking, oh yeah, that's the right thing? That seems pretty far off. That's going to be really tough for it to navigate.
Those kind of human innate, our own weird thing that we just kind of know to fudge the rules or that it's okay to go into the left lane because of this, how that's.
We get a lot of that here in San Diego in the more congested areas where a delivery truck, there's nowhere for it to go. So it parks in the middle, turn lane thing, right? And so if you actually need to turn where it's parked, you're going to have to go around it, make a U-turn, come back, or turn before it and drive on the opposite side and then turn. Those are just things that totally possible for a car to do, but having that knowledge of when that's okay and making that decision, because what if it does that and gets into a head-on collision,
right?
Whose fault is it now? And moreover, hopefully no one got hurt, but likely someone would. So there's so many little micro judgments that we make as drivers that I think is why it's going to take 10, 15 years for it to truly be self-driving.
Yeah, I've always thought that there's AI can do a lot of things, but that human intuition that even we don't fully understand is going to be
things that are almost subconscious to us. We made that decision, we did that thing, and then later if we had to explain why, it'd be like, oh, I don't know, it just kind of, that was just what I had to do or whatever. So.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this clip from our show. If that's just not enough for you and you want to watch the full episode, you can go to olfpod.com/YT.
And if you want more from us, you can consider becoming a Patreon member. You'll get early access to episodes. You can join our awesome community. You can actually watch us record live and get your name in the credits by going to olfpod.com/Patreon.
So thanks everyone for watching. Check back every Friday for new clips here and new episodes on the main channel.
Thanks, everybody.